What's good with the YouTube fight fans all over the world? It's your boy, the realest of the real talk boxing, and I'm back at you again. According to Eric Gomez and Golden Boy Promotions, the fight between Pacquiao and Ryan Garcia is not happening. What in the world is going on? Now, I knew something like this was probably going to happen because there were like too many changes, like too quick. First off, you announce that you're fighting Pacquiao, then you announce that it's an exhibition, then it's not an exhibition, and then it's not happening. I'm trying to make sense of it all because it didn't make sense for me from the jump. Now, there's a lot of people saying that it was because of this and it was because of that. It could be a number of things. And I have my opinion on what the sole purpose or the sole problem was in this fight not happening. But I'm going to go through a couple of things that I've been hearing people saying and reading about, which is all valid, but we don't really know it to be true. All we can do is speculate and give our own judgment and our opinion, which doesn't amount to much, especially if we don't know anything factually. So before I get started, this is just my opinion, all right? So here's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing it was just a smokescreen. You know, once he beat Campbell, Ryan Garcia, that is. And let me say this before I start. Before It Wasn't Me gets on my case, and before anybody else who supports the channel gets on my case about Ryan, I'm not hating on Ryan, y'all. I'm just trying to get some news out there, in my opinion out there. I don't really know what the true case is. So rest assured, I'm not hating on Ryan Garcia. But I hear that it was a smokescreen. He was calling out Tank Davis as soon as he beat Campbell. And a lot of people said he was calling out Tank Davis because he was ducking Devin Haney. He didn't want to fight Devin Haney. And then, after Tank Davis, he says, hey, I'm going to have to put him to the side and fight Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people say the reason why he wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao is because he was ducking Tank Davis. Nevertheless, man, bro, like, what do you... You know, my mom said something to me years ago when I was a kid. Bro, if you don't really know what's going on, shut your mouth. Don't be talking about something that you don't know factually. Why did Ryan just go to the, extremes to announce all these so-called fights that he was announcing? I just don't understand it. In some way, shape, or form, it does look like a smokescreen to not fight certain fighters. Not sure if that's the case. But it could surely look that way. Now, Manny Pacquiao, he demands big purses, y'all. Manny Pacquiao demands big purses. He's not fighting for under a certain amount of millions, in my opinion. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think it's money. I think that's the sole purpose why this fight is not happening. But it's not a good look for Ryan Garcia when you're out there throwing all these so-called fights out and you're announcing all this stuff and you're saying you want to do one thing and then you do another. Ryan Garcia needs to chill because he's making himself out to look like someone who's dodging and ducking. You know what I'm saying? He's making himself look like he don't really know what he's talking about. He just needs to chill with all these posts and going out and saying that, hey, I'm fighting this guy, I'm fighting that guy, it's going to happen, yada, yada, yada. You got to chill, man, because you're making yourself look dumb. You're making yourself look pretty stupid, honestly. If you don't know the case, then you need to chill. You really need to chill. No hate. I'm just, stating my opinion. If you weren't sure that you were going to fight Manny Pacquiao, then you should have never announced it. If you weren't serious about Tank Davis, then you should have never said his name. Now what are you going to do? You're starting to become that boy that cried wolf, so to speak. But I honestly believe the sole purpose is because of money. No one was going to pay big bucks to see an exhibition with him and Ryan Garcia. Then he announces that it's not an exhibition. And I stated in a video, probably my last video, if this is actually going to be a real fight, this fight probably will not happen. Because if it's a real fight, then he stands a chance, a great chance, at losing against Manny Pacquiao. And they don't want this kid. They don't want his old gone right now, man. They're trying to make money off this guy. They're trying to make money off Ryan Garcia because he's what? Marketable. He's marketable. But he really has to watch his mouth. he really has to learn how to shut his mouth, actually, and not just blurt out things that aren't necessarily true or not necessarily in the works. Because when you say one thing and it turns out to be another, people start to look at you different. They really, really do. So if I was Ryan Garcia and I was his team, I would say, listen, don't you be posting nothing else if it's not factual. You need to chill out on this Instagram, and you need to shut your mouth unless you really and truly know factually what's going on. Because he's honestly making himself look bad. No hate, wasn't me. No hate on Ryan Garcia. I like the kid, but he's young. And his age is showing, judging by all of this stuff that he's been letting out that hasn't necessarily been true. So if you don't know it to be true, hush up your mouth. But I honestly don't think it's because he's ducking and dodging other fighters. I think it's because of the money. Manny Pacquiao wants a certain purse, and if he can't get it, he's not going to fight. They didn't want this to be a real fight. Regardless of what anyone says, my opinion, Garcia's team did not want this to be a real fight because it would have been bad for Ryan Garcia. And I did state, if this was the case, if it's a real fight, this fight probably will not happen. So I think it's primarily because of the money, but some of it has to do with his would definitely take a chance of going against someone like Manny Pacquiao, regardless if he's 42 or 62. Pacquiao can still fight, and Ryan Garcia has not developed enough to stand in front of that man and fight him and not lose. So, obviously, the fight's off. What's next? What's next? Are you going to stay in your weight class and actually fight the guys that you should be fighting anyway? Because you got the pick of the litter. You can pretty much fight any of the elite you want. They're going to make it happen because you're a big name, even though you don't have a significant belt. You are a big name. And it does stand to make mega money if any of the elites were to fight Ryan Garcia. No hate, just my opinion. Never mind that. What's yours? Comment down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all fair now. God bless us. The next time Real Talk Boxing, we up and we out of here.